In this video, I'll take you behind the scenes of how I plan my films to tell compelling stories, not just capture stunning visuals. I'm going to use my most recent Iceland trip as an example and show you two methods you can use to plan your own videos. One that is a quick and easy cheat sheet, and the other a more detailed, organized approach to creating a story from start to finish. The first approach is great for when you're short on time but want to capture something cinematic. It consists of 6 shots that you can combine together and create a sequence that feels connected. And you can shoot more, but anything below that usually results in me not having enough footage. And the 6 different angles you need are an establishing shot, a texture shot, another texture shot for variety, wide hero shot, a medium shot, and a close-up. This is a simple list I try to follow on every location when I don't have a plan. I'll start off by getting an establishing shot just to set the scene and show the location. Also, if you're someone like me who struggles or sometimes forgets to get an establishing shot, you should give drones a go. Those are really good for getting that wide aerial shot that can act as an establishing one. Then I like to have a look around and see if I can get any texture shots. Those are usually anything like an object or a certain detail in the environment. As an example, for our Iceland trip, it was a top-down drone shot of the river system or a close-up of the rocks. Anything that sort of fills in the scene and shows the viewer more about the location. I then move on to the subject and get 3 more shots. A wide shot to show the scale with the subject being in the environment, a medium for a natural look that is similar to what our eyes see, and a close-up to focus on a certain action and show emotion. You can mix these however you want, but I find this order works best for my workflow. I rock up to a location, capture all the surroundings, and then I move on to the subject. By using this shot sequence, you should have enough footage to create a short piece or have a scene that's part of a bigger film. And think of it as a template that you can use to make sure you just have enough footage. Now, if you have more time to plan out your shoot and build a story, I think it's time we move on to the next method. For bigger projects and paid shoots, I like to go deeper with my planning. And before using this method, I'd show up to these stunning places and yeah, I'd capture some decent shots, but I always struggled in the edit. The shots almost felt random. So now I stick to a method that helps me capture the heart of the story whilst keeping everything visually consistent. First, I begin with coming up with a narrative. For this trip, I really wanted to push the exploration idea. I wanted to show epic landscapes and give the feeling of being small in such a big and vast space. Once you have your story set, it is time to define your visual style. Do you want the video to be more moody and dark or slightly more light and airy? This decision will affect everything, starting from the time of day you film to the color grading and the pacing of the edit. At this stage, I also like to think about the locations and the subject I want to film. I usually start with a Google search of best photo locations in a certain country, have a look at what's on the internet as well as social media, and we kind of just want to get a feel for what we can expect. Now, last step in the ideation process for me is usually looking into some music. If you're planning to create specifically for short form content, I'd suggest going on Instagram and just going through the sounds. Oftentimes, that alone can spark up some cool ideas and it'll give you a sense of what works and what doesn't. Otherwise, I go on Artlist and go through their music catalog, starting from their staff picks, going one by one, and then moving on to the newest songs. This is just an early stage to get a vibe and have a feeling of what kind of pacing you want in your video. Okay, so we have the idea, we have the visual style, couple of locations, and music. I think now is a good time to build a mood board. This is probably my favorite part of the process. It consists of going through Instagram, Frameset, Vimeo, any platform that has good visual references, and pulling together a big collection of images. I like to dump everything on one board, either on Milanote or Freeform, and then go from there. My suggestion is to look for colors, certain compositions that you like, textures, and even frames from those exact locations that you researched before. And the whole point of the mood board is to have one place where you can get ideas from. Next, I like to storyboard my shots, which up until now I've had to draw out one by one. And it works, but it takes a long time with my fairly average drawing skills, which is where Artlist's AI image and video generator comes in. And if you don't know about Artlist, which would be kind of surprising, they have a vast collection of sound effects, music, as well as templates and LUTs for you to use in your videos. Now they have released an AI image and video generator, which I've been using a lot for my storyboards. You can browse through the style catalog and pick the one you like the most. I've been really enjoying the sketch look you get from storyboards, but if you want a more realistic look, I have a style for that too. Then you can describe the shot you want and enhance the prompt for more details that the AI can use. Choose the aspect ratio and how many images you want and hit generate. From there, you can adjust the prompt to generate more images or bring the storyboard to life by turning it into a video. It will suggest a prompt that you adjust to your liking, choose the duration, resolution, and animate your storyboard. So whether you're creating a full narrative or just blocking out some smaller videos, this tool is handy for saving time and bringing your concepts to life. If you'd like to try it out and find out more, I'll leave a link in the description for you to check out. And a huge thanks to Artlist for sponsoring this video. At this point, you already put a lot of thought into what you want to create, so naturally, it's time to revisit the locations and put the storyboards in order that you want to capture them. For Iceland, I was lucky enough to go with creators that have been there before, so we had loads of locations to choose from, as well as references from the actual spots. In your case, you might be going in blind, and that's where tools like Google Earth or Street View come in really handy. You can drop yourself onto one of those 360 pins and actually see what the location looks like. So what I do is I pick 2 to 3 locations for each day and list out the shots that I have to get, at least a rough running order. And it can be as simple as you want it to be. The key here is to be flexible. Unless it's a big commercial, I like to have some room for creativity on the actual spot. Hence why I say the shots you have to get. Having done all the preparation, I consider the plan to be ready. Pulling back, we get to see the whole plan where everything starts to click. The story, the visuals, locations, and all the details that make up the master plan. This is what, in my mind, it means to plan a video. It's what separates videographers from filmmakers. My thinking behind coming up with this plan is to have a structure that you can follow, take out the guessing, and create the best work that you can. So those are the 2 methods I use to plan my videos. One that is a simple and easy checklist, and one that is deeper and more story driven. Whether you're filming a travel video with friends or a paid shoot, hopefully this gives you a framework that you can follow to go in with a plan. Also, if you want to see an example I made for this video, along with all the tools that I used, I'll have them linked down below. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section as well. I hope you liked this video, and if you did and want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing. I just got back from Morocco with my friend Luke, so the next video is just around the corner. And that's it. I'll catch you guys later.